She's the former test pilot with space powers, and she's about to meet the Southern Mutant, who ends up with space powers. One of Marvel's most complicated relationships could make it to the MCU when Captain Marvel meets Rogue. For some fans, this is what the shared universe is all about. Only in a shared universe can the mutant Rogue meet the star-powered Captain Marvel, and then have one of the most epic fights in Marvel Comics, a fight that reshaped both heroes forever. Now, with mutants on the horizon for the MCU, fans might get to see the origins of the Rogue we know and love from the comics and cartoons. Captain Marvel might be sitting out the reality-blending Phase 4, but she's coming in hot in Phase 5, and the rumor mill has seemed to confirm a rather unconventional villain in the mutant Rogue. That's something aficionados of both Carol Danvers and Anna Paquin, known by their made-up names as Captain Marvel and Rogue, have had at the top of their wish list for quite some time. For those that only know Rogue from the Fox movies, they've only seen half of what fans know about Rogue. That's because the Fox Mutant-verse only contained mutants, and was missing that key element of Rogue's story, Carol Danvers. In fact, the quintessential X-Men didn't even debut in X-Men or any mutant title. She debuted in Avengers Annual, and like the upcoming movie, her debut was as a villain. This sets up the MCU to do something Feige has been reluctant to do: recycle characters. When Spider-Man went on loan from the Sonyverse, there were two edicts. Skip one of the best-known origin stories in comics, and don't repeat villains from the previous 5 Spider-Man films. That is, until the multiverse brought back not only Electro, but Jamie Foxx as Electro. But that's a different video. Similarly, Feige and company are looking to avoid stories and characters that have played out in the Foxverse already, so don't expect them to rush towards a Dark Phoenix storyline. That story might be cursed. While Anna Paquin played a charming rogue early in the X-Men franchise, she only ever was the mutant who could steal other mutants' powers. Without a Captain Marvel around for her to steal powers permanently, Rogue never really took flight. With this big of an opportunity, Rogue is ideal as an early arrival from the mutant end of the Marvel Universe. So what exactly went down between these mighty heroes? Let's review. It's never really an easy road to Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. Generally speaking, you start off trying to do something messed up, then the always caring Xavier comes along and offers you a chance to control your new powers, and should it be needed, some form of redemption. In Rogue's case, her trouble started like most mutants, when her powers manifested. Rogue's mutant ability works with skin-to-skin contact and has no off switch. That means a stolen kiss from a cute boy sent said cute boy into a coma that he never woke up from. This led the young mutant into the arms of Mystique and another mutant named Destiny, both members of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Mystique's first job for Rogue encountered Carol Danvers, who at the time was just Miss Marvel. Captain came later. Carol Danvers does a lot of punching. If you get Carol Danvers' powers, you might end up doing a lot of punching too. The takeaway here is that there was a lot of skin contact between the two eventual heroes, and that caused Rogue's powers to, well, go rogue. Rogue gained Captain Marvel's powers, her near invulnerability, her flight, those cool energy beams that she can shoot out of her fists, and a big chunk of Carol's memories. The catch is, of course, Rogue never gave any of that back. Normally, when Rogue would absorb powers and memories, the effect was fleeting and would eventually wear off. Not so much with Danvers. While she gained an enviable set of new powers without having to absorb someone's powers first, she also was saddled with Danvers' memories that Danvers no longer had. Part of this story already played out in the Captain Marvel movie, with Danvers not remembering her past. Though in the movie, that was down to the Kree being a bunch of jerks. In the comics, her memory loss is all down to a fateful fight with Rogue. Eventually, with Danvers' memories tormenting Rogue, the mutant turned to Xavier to put up a firewall in her brain, and she joined the X-Men. So what's a Rogue villain going to look like? Well, thanks to the joys of a shared universe, not much has to change. The rumors only suggest that she's going to be part of a mutant terrorist group. The Brotherhood is Magneto's baby, but despite the prominence of his comic book daughter Wanda Maximoff, Feige is reportedly holding off on that character because of his prominence in the Fox mutant movies. The Brotherhood could exist without him, but there's also the Hellfire Club, or Mr. Sinister's Marauders. Since that's a character we haven't seen yet, let's assume the Marauders are the winner. Talos, in his role as fake Nick Fury, needs to call in the big guns, as after a bunch of cross-world shenanigans, mutants show up in the MCU, and the Marauders in particular become a threat. Thinking she's just going to pop back to Earth for another round of spaceship smashing and taking headbutts without flinching, she instead encounters a mutant who can steal her powers. That fight gets intense and ends when Rogue's mutant power overwhelms Danvers' star power, leaving Rogue with memories Danvers didn't even know she had. The question mark is, does the redemption come at the end of Captain Marvel, or does that wait for further movies? If it's the latter, that animosity with one of the more powerful Avengers could help set up another big Marvel story, Avengers vs. X-Men. Well, that's how Rogue could be the villain of Captain Marvel 2. What do you want to see happen? Let us know in the comments, and while you're there, be sure to subscribe to CBR, where you get the superpower of absorbing the latest videos we release. Thanks a lot for watching.